A very good Monday morning to you all, and welcome to the National Newspaper Publishers Association and the Black Press of America's morning breaking news broadcast, Let It Be Known. This morning, we're going to hear from a very special individual. Mother Viola Fletcher is what they call her. She's 107 years old. She is one of the very, very few remaining survivors of the Tulsa massacre, Black Wall Street. And she's going to Africa soon on what they call Coming Home, the journey of a lifetime. And that is because of Our Black Truth, the new social media platform created by Michael and Eric Thompson and the company's CEO, Dr. Toni Luck, who joins us this morning. But first, of course, let us bring on the National Newspaper Publishers Association's president and CEO, Dr. Ben Chavis. Good morning, Dr. Chavis.
Good morning, Stacy Brown, and on behalf of the National Newspaper Publishers Association, Karen Carter Richards, our distinguished chair, and the 230 African-American owned newspapers and media companies all throughout the United States, we certainly want to start off this Monday morning with a great program, and greetings to everybody from the Black Press of America.
Absolutely. And Dr. Chavis, the headlines this morning, we lost another hip-hop legend. Biz Markie, the rapper, producer, and actor whose hits included Just a Friend and Nobody Beats the Biz, died over the weekend at the age of 57. Nicknamed the Clown Prince of Hip-Hop, Biz was born Marcel Theo Hall in Harlem. He was right across from the then Triborough Bridge in Queens, where he would cut his teeth collaborating with MCs and DJs like Big Daddy Kane, Marley Marr, and Roxanne Shante. Biz also made his mark at Manhattan nightclubs, where he quickly became the center of attention. He rose to fame with the Juice Crew, working day and night with the famed DJ Mr. Magic, who helped Biz hone his skills as a beatboxer and become one of the most influential figures in music. Biz's death follows that of other icons in 2021 like DMX, Prince Marky D, Shock G, and Ecstasy from Houdini. Dr. Chavis, I know you also joined the hip-hop community in grieving the loss of Biz Markie.
Absolutely. I knew Biz Markie. He was very talented, very gifted, and very committed. A lot of people don't know Biz Markie would also lend his talent. Particularly, he during the last maybe 10, 12 years, he was always out there also using music, using his business to, ability to be a DJ to encourage people to vote. We were on tours together, getting out the black vote, not only in New York, but in Pennsylvania and other parts of the country. And wherever I would go, I would run into Biz Markie. He would be in Vegas a lot. He'd be in Los Angeles. He was across the country. He was tireless. And so certainly on behalf of the Black Press of America, we extend our sincere condolences to the family of Biz Markie. May he rest in peace and may he rest in power. And as Chuck D would say, may he rest in beats.
Absolutely. Nobody beats the Biz. And Dr. Chavis, we talk about reparations here in America. We know the job that Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee is doing. But how about this? Jamaica, the Caribbean nation there, has put a price tag on slavery and is sending the British government the bill. State officials of the Caribbean nation said they are asking Great Britain to pay $10.6 billion US dollars in reparations. The former British colony served as the center of the slave trade, where Africans were kidnapped, enslaved, and forced to work on sugarcane, bananas, and other plantations. That free and inhumane labor greatly enriched the slave owners. And get this, according to the National Library of Jamaica, about 600,000 Africans landed in Jamaica during the slave trade. But here's the thing. To compensate slave owners, the British government took out a 20 million pound or 27.7 million US dollar loan and only finished paying off the subsequent interest payments in 2015, just 6 years ago. Slaves and their descendants, of course, have never received compensation. So Jamaica is asking for $10.6 billion in reparations from Great Britain. What a story out of the island there in the Caribbean, Dr. Chavis.
Right. And I would say that that should be a down payment. The 10 billion should be a down payment. It really should be 10 trillion because the impact of the transatlantic slave trade is enormous. It's unprecedented. And I'm glad that they put a figure, but I would call it the initial down payment because you take Haiti. Haiti is still paying reparations to France. All these former colonial powers made sure that the former entities that they colonized owed them back money. And similar thing happened in the United States. After the Civil War, slave owners were compensated. Plantation owners were compensated. And that's why you have all these statues. That's why you have all the major U.S. military bases in the South named after Confederate generals. I mean, you lose a war, but yet your generals get the honor of having military bases, and many of whom to this day are still named after Confederate generals. So yes, we salute Jamaica for taking this step, but I see it as an initial step, an initial down payment that the UK, the British government, owes the honorable people of Jamaica.
Yeah. And then some health news, Dr. Chavis. I'll start by saying this. Every morning after Let It Be Known, my wife says, let's go get our steps in. Well, from pedometers to the fitness tracking band and fitness and Fitbit and cell phones, Americans appear to be obsessed with their health and monitoring their daily steps as a surefire way of determining if they're healthy. Well, many health buffs have set a goal of achieving at least 10,000 steps each day based on theories that the number represents a benchmark leading to a better quality of life. However, a recent report noted that adhering to the 10,000 steps rule remains something rooted in mere coincidence, and it lacks the support of medical research. In fact, the Black Press of America has spoken to several experts who said 5,000 steps. In some cases, it depends on your health, your weight, and everything else. Combined, 2,700 steps might do the trick. Many recommend at least 4,400 steps, but nonetheless, they all recommend some sort of daily exercise and eating right. And Dr. Chavis, you have made it a habit of a certain diet yourself, which has worked very well for you. Talk about that briefly, Dr. Chavis.
Well, thank you. Yes, I practice fasting. It's called intermittent fasting. So I don't eat at certain times of the day, and I try not to eat after 6 p.m. Every day because your body needs a chance to process the foods that you take in. And I think obesity is a problem in Black America, being overweight. And I think the issue that you raise in the headlines is that everybody should have some form of physical exercise. If you only exercise and then don't eat right, you defeat the purpose. But if you only eat right and then don't exercise, you still defeat the purpose. So you have to eat right, exercise, and also try to keep a positive countenance because emotional stress can lead to physical stress. So all these things have to work together. But that's why the Black press, we are concerned about the health and welfare, the condition, the empowerment of our people. And health is a major challenge. Even before COVID hit the world, the pandemic, African Americans and other communities of color had disproportionate pre-existing conditions. And a lot of our pre-existing conditions are health related. And then we hear from the Center for Disease Control, there's something called the social determinants of health. You know, our racism, economic exploitation, any form of oppression will also impede having a good health. So all these things, and that's why we need to make sure that you get the truth, get the facts, because there are a lot of fads out there, Stacy, where people engage in and they don't get the results because that's just it. It was a fad. It really wasn't based on science or based on life. Everybody should not just do what you hear, what other people say. You need to consult your physician, your doctor. And I know a lot of brothers and sisters don't have personal doctors. They wait till they get sick to go to the emergency room. Mm-hmm. I think everybody needs professional healthcare advice from a professional healthcare person that they trust, that they know, and that they have confidence that it will give them the right information.
Yeah. And Dr. Chavis, this morning on we have a very special guest. You know, Tulsa, the Tulsa massacre, the Greenwood.
100 years ago, yes.
100 years ago, exactly. Well, one special person, Viola Fletcher, they call her Mother Viola Fletcher. You know, at the age of 7, she and her newly born brother, Hughes Van Ellis, who is now 100 years old, they are survivors of 2 terrible days in 1921. She witnessed most of the violence and horror. And she says that she's been haunted every single day by that during her long life. Well, Our Black Truth, the new social media platform created by Michael and Eric Thompson, their brothers, with the company's COO, Dr. Toni Luck, are taking Mother Fletcher on a historic endeavor. It's called Coming Home, The Journey of a Lifetime. They are taking her to Ghana, West Africa. And Dr. Chavis, we got a chance to talk with Mother Fletcher. But before we show that bit of video in which we talked to her, let us listen to her testimony that she gave in Congress just about a month and a half ago.
Today we have 2 witness panels. On the first panel will be a very special group of witnesses, the 3 known remaining survivors of the Tulsa Greenwood race massacre. We're deeply honored that they have agreed to testify before us and eagerly anticipate hearing their firsthand accounts of that horrific days. We also know, for those witnesses who traveled to Washington, about your difficulties with your flight and delayed luggage, so we're even more grateful to have you here with us today. There's been an agreement the subcommittee will forego questions of the first panel, and we will simply, unlike most Congresspeople, just listen and learn. Our first witness is Miss Viola Fletcher, also known, if I can, Mother Fletcher. Thank you. I don't have a mother, so thank you. Mother Fletcher is the oldest living survivor of the Tulsa race massacre. She was 7 years old when she lived through the massacre. Mother Fletcher, you are now recognized to testify. Is the microphone on?
Yes. My name is that okay. My name is Viola Ford Fletcher. I'm the daughter of Lucinda Ellis and John Wesley Ford of Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm the sister of Hughes Van Ellis, who is also here today. I'm a survivor of the Tulsa race massacre. 2 weeks ago, I celebrated my 107th birthday. Today, I'm visiting Washington, D.C. for the first time in my life. I'm here seeking justice, and I'm asking my country to acknowledge what happened in Tulsa in 1921. On May 31st in 21, I went to bed in my family's home in Greenwood. Neighbors of Tulsa, the neighborhood I felt asleep in that night, was rich, not just in terms of wealth, but in culture, community, heritage, and my family had a beautiful home. We had great neighbors, and I had friends to play with. I felt safe. I had everything a child could need. I had a bright future ahead of me. Greenwood could, excuse me, yeah. Still, Greenwood should have given me the chance to truly make it in this country. Within a few hours, all of that was gone. The night of the massacre, I was awakened by my family. My parents and 5 siblings were there. I was told we had to leave, and that was it. I will never forget the violence of the white mob when we left our home. I still see black men being shot, black bodies lying in the street. I still smell smoke and see fire. I still see black businesses being burned. I still hear airplanes flying overhead. I hear the screams. I have lived through the massacre every day. Our country may forget this history, but I cannot. I will not, and other survivors do not, and our descendants do not. When my family was forced to leave Tulsa, I lost my chance of an education. I never finished school past the 4th grade. I have never made much money in my country. State and city took a lot from me. Despite this, I spent time supporting the war effort in the shipyards of California, but most of my life I was a domestic worker serving white families. I never made much money, but to this day I can barely afford my everyday needs. All the while the city of this Tulsa have unjustly used the names and stories of victims like me to enrich myself and its white allies through the 30s million raised by the Tulsa Centennial Commissioner while I was continued to live in poverty. I am a 107-year-old and have never been seen justice. I pray that one day I will. I have been blessed with a long life and have seen the best and the worst of this country. I think about the terror, horror inflicted upon black people in this country every day. This subcontinued committee has the power to lead us down a better path. I'm asking that my country acknowledge what has been happened to me, the traumas and the pain, the loss, and I ask the survivors and descendants to be given the chance to seek justice, open the door. All of you know how easy it is to deny that a violent mob threatened your lives and took your property. For 70 years, the city of Tulsa and its Chamber of Commerce told us that the massacre didn't happen, like we didn't see it with our own eyes. You have me here right now. You see Mother Randall, you see my brother, Hughes Van Ellis. We live this history, and we can't ignore it. It's our lives with us. Oh, my goodness. We lost everything that day, our homes, our churches, our newspapers, our theaters, our lives. Greenwood represented all the best of what was possible for black people in America and for all the people. No one cared about us for almost 100 years. We and our history have been forgotten, washed away. This Congress must recognize us and our history. For black America, for the white Americans, and for all Americans, that's some justice. Is that it? Thank you.
Do you want to say anything else?
I thought it was another page.
Do you want to say anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to say?
No, it's not.
Thank you very much. We appreciate very much your testimony.
Well, you talk about powerful testimony. When we spoke to her, Dr. Chavis, it was determined that we didn't want to put her to any more trauma about her reliving that. So we did ask her, because Dr. Toni Luck is going to join us in a moment, and we did ask her just a couple of brief questions about the upcoming coming home journey. And here is what she had to say. Mother Fletcher, again, thank you so much. What does your upcoming trip to Africa mean to you?
It means the world to me, and I want to see it for myself.
Oh, great. And when did you first have the desire to travel to Africa?
When I was young, I became a young adult. Africa was a country I wanted to visit.
Wow, yeah. And what do you hope to experience while you are in Africa?
I wanted to see the lifestyle, the land, lakes, rivers, trees, livestock, and the people.
Well, you know, we are absolutely positive that you're going to have a grand old time in what they say, the motherland. Mother Fletcher is going to have a great time in the motherland. Enjoy your trip. We really appreciate you taking out the time today to speak with the Black Press of America. And Dr. Chavis, now we will bring on one of the individuals responsible for taking Mother Fletcher to Africa, who will be taking her to Africa, Dr. Toni Luck. Good morning, Dr. Luck. Dr. Luck, we're having a little bit of trouble with your audio right now. We can't pick up what you're saying. Okay, there you go. Very little.
Oh my goodness, maybe I need to get closer to my phone.
There you go. There you go.
Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Ben Chavis.
Good morning.
I've known you for over 40 years. That's too long because we're only 35.
Yes, it's so good to see you.
It's good to see you. And Mr. Brown, thank you so much for a wonderful time and a great interview with Mother. And we so appreciate, on behalf of the chairman of our Black Truth and the vice chairman, Michael and Eric Thompson, I thank you for this time to talk to you about what we're doing.
Well, it's a privilege. And before you get into it, I just wanted to relay something to you from our executive administrator, Claudette Perry. She says that you are a phenomenal cook. I think she said something along the lines that probably the best cook she's had. She didn't want you to forget that she knows that you are a great cook. But tell us, speaking of cooking, tell us about this trip. Tell us about Mother Fletcher. I mean, that was some powerful, powerful testimony before Congress. We know about the injustices today, but the injustices she's experienced for 107 years. Talk about Mother Fletcher, if you will.
Let me say, Claudette is an amazing public relations guru, and I have to cook when I come to Washington. Let me just start back. Our Black Truth is the new social media platform for the 2 billion Black people that have been, some of them put in Facebook jail, some of them can't say what they want to say. Our chairman has got 45 years. He started when he was like 15, doing lots of tech stuff. And some of the big companies that we take for granted have been the recipient of his genius in the back room. And finally, a few years ago, he decided that he needed to get into the front room. So he and his brother Eric created this amazing platform called Our Black Truth. Well, we went to Tulsa for the 100th anniversary as a media company to just be there. We had a booth. Eric and Michael were in the parade, and they got the opportunity greatly to meet Mother Fletcher, Uncle Red, and to talk to Uncle Red. In fact, Michael had a great conversation with Uncle Red, who's quite funny. And in the meantime of all that, they met Mother Fletcher's grandson, Mr. Ike Howard, who is responsible for her public and well-being. So about a week after we came back from, I didn't go because I had just gotten in from South Africa. And I had already been around the country twice. And so Michael, Eric, and some of our staff was in Tulsa. But we were having a board meeting, and we got a call from Mr. Howard that said to Michael, Mother Fletcher wants to go to Africa. I mean, just Mother Fletcher wants to go to Africa. And I am, of course, a board member. And Michael said, I don't know much about that, but Dr. Luck's been in Africa for 35 years living. So let's talk. So we thought about where she wanted to see pyramids and she wanted to see animals. Well, so that's Egypt, and that's South Africa, Kenya, or Tanzania for the big drives. But all of that is far. Egypt was having some turmoil. And so as a citizen of Ghana and having a sister in Ghana, which I'll talk about in a minute, we chose Ghana. Ghana is 10 hours, 11 hours from the east coast of America, but it's stable. And the great president, Nana Akufo-Addo, opened up Ghana in 2019 for the year of return. And on ground, we have Her Excellency Dr. Erica Bennett, who is the head of mission of the only diaspora embassy in the world sanctioned by the African Union. So Ghana was a perfect place. It has the history, it has the amazing, unfortunate, all the catacombs and all of the dungeons where we were, but it also has great kings and great pomp and ceremony. And so we chose Ghana, and we presented Ghana to Mr. Howard and their family, and they were excited. And so our Black Truth decided to underwrite a trip for them, and that's what we're doing.
And Dr. Luck, why is for Mother Fletcher and her family, why is this trip so important? Can you just briefly break that down for us?
Well, Mother Fletcher said this was one of her bucket lists. And let me just do 2 seconds of history because I didn't read her remarks. Of course, Africa is a continent with 55 countries. And but she's not alone. A lot of African Americans, a lot of people think Africa is a country, you know, because we're presented like a country, like America has, 52 states. So Africa has 55 states as a country, but it isn't. It is a continent with aside from 55 countries, and we are a continent with 55 Black heads of state. So if we're looking for a Black president, I mean, we have 55 of them in one place. Also, without a doubt, it has every mineral, every benefit that the world needs, and we know that because the West has been taking stuff. And what Dr. Chavis said rightly about the reparations is just a beginning. A beginning.
Well, and Dr. Luck, I don't mean to cut you off. Obviously, we don't want to run out of time before we get to the meat of it. But we also want to, So you mentioned all of that, and you're obviously you're right. Africa has so much to offer. Dr. Chavis has been there numerous times. He's taken me once. He's planning on taking me again. But for Mother Fletcher, what was it about Africa? You said it was on her bucket list. Did she mention anything specific about Africa that you recall?
She did. She said it was the foundation of life. It was where everything started. And she wanted to go back to where everything started. And so, I mean, how could we say no to that? She was very clear, and you saw her testimony, which is quite poignant and quite emotional. She's very clear, because a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, I've said, Mother, you sure you're going to have to be on a plane for 10 hours? And, I was groomed by older people. So, they can say one word and you get it. So she said, yes. So that yes says, don't ask me again. I'm going.
We're at the top of the hour. We're going to be going over because this is a special program this morning. Dr. Chavis, I want to throw it to you.
Thank you very much. First, I want on behalf of the Black Press of America, to thank Dr. Toni Luck. I've known her for many, many decades, as well as Dr. Erica Bennett. Maya Angelou had this poem entitled "Phenomenal Woman." Certainly, Dr. Toni Luck herself is phenomenal. Dr. Erica Bennett is phenomenal. And I'm going to give Viola Fletcher her doctorate. Dr. Viola Fletcher is a phenomenal woman. And the fact that you're taking Mother Viola back to Africa And I say back to Africa because all of us originated as people of African descent from Africa. But it's a great tribute. And we're glad that your company now, Dr. Luck, that you work for, Our Black Truth, is sponsoring this. And this is something that we want to cover that trip, Stacy, for the Black press to make sure that we cover this journey. It's a great testimony. And Ghana is a great nation with great leadership. And the diaspora forum having its base there is very fitting. So rest assured, Dr. Luck, that the Black Press of America, we support this initiative. And what better way to not only give focus on what happened 100 years ago in Tulsa, which still needs to be addressed and still needs to get the reparations bill. And we appreciate the work of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee and all the sponsors of HR 40 so that we can get a reparations study, but also change our consciousness. I think we need a more global consciousness as people of African descent, people who live in the diaspora. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Luck, for all of what you continue to do, because you're a long distance runner, you're a long distance leader, and you're making a profound difference in the world.
I want to say that we chose, Dr. Bennett, Ambassador Bennett's reach. We chose to start with the Black press. There was no way that you are our first public interview. You are our first public interview. And we, through Claudette's initiative and activism, we are on this TV. And I'm very grateful because you guys, the Black press, has managed to talk to us for over 100 years or more over the time to ensure that Black people, know what's going on, Yes. And so on Friday, I was with my special daughter, Denise Rolock. Her dad and I were best friends in the Republican Party. And we were on her show in the morning and then this show today. So it was our desire to make sure that the Black press and the Black colleges, everybody who has this melanin would be the first to be at the forefront of celebrating this trip for Mother Fletcher.
Yeah, and we do intend to have the brothers of Our Black Truth on Let It Be Known sometime in the very near future, as Dr. Chavis said, to continue to follow that journey, the coming home journey. Dr. Luck, briefly again, your interactions with Mother Viola Fletcher, what's that meant to you personally?
Oh my goodness. I was raised by older women. My mother decided to hang out till she was about 40 and then she had me. So I was raised by old ladies. And my grandmother lived to 107 and my great grandmother lived to 109. And I was privileged to be in their life. And so this has been amazing. She is amazing. I get to talk to her at least once a week now. Just making sure she what's her health issues, and she has none. They sent me her medicine. She takes 1 aspirin, 2 Tylenol, and something to rub her knee. I can show you the medicine I take at 70. She's taking an aspirin and a Tylenol. She is a strong, phenomenal woman. I do want to say to you, while I have you, so that I don't get in too much trouble with my chairman, Our Black Truth can be downloaded as an app from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. And the reason I'm saying that is because we are going to be following the trip of Mother Fletcher every single day on the media. So between NNPA and what Our Black Truth will do, so all of your listeners can go to the Apple Store, download the Our Black Truth app, and then they'll be, it's free, and then they'll be able to follow every single moment of this historic coming home visit.
Yeah, absolutely. We will be monitoring that as we already stated. It's going to be interesting, Dr. Chavis. I know it's going to be interesting to you to see her reaction when she lands in Ghana.
Absolutely. Stacy, some time ago, recently, you and I went to Nigeria, and I was glad to witness your when you stepped off that plane in Africa for the first time. It really had an impact. So, Dr. Luck, again, we just appreciate your leadership, and we thank you for giving the Black press this exclusive review, this exclusive knowledge, and we're going to follow this. I'm sure our publishers around the United States are very interested in this story, because this is a positive story, an uplifting story. There's so much tragic news dealing with our people, as you know, Dr. Luck, all over the world, even in some parts of Africa today. There's instability. And a lot of the instability is driven by outside forces that pit our people against one another. This is an act of unity. This is an act of solidarity. And we just pray that God would bless Mother Viola and you and all the ones that are involved, your company, our Black Future. So, we just want you to know that we support you 100%.
Thank you so much. And I do want to say, Dr. Chavis, your voice is still so important, because you're right. It's outside forces. I've lived in South Africa 22 years, and I'm in America now, and I have been trying. I've just got off a 5-hour peace table meeting, moving the envelope. We're out in the street now. We have teams in the street now cleaning up South Africa. But the concerted effort of this last insurrection thing was not just people being angry,
Yes.
but it was something more. And I'm so glad you said that, and I hope you continue in this position that you have to highlight that we're not just sitting around not doing anything, that a lot of this stuff is being premeditated. And I'm off a little bit because I'm really a political person, but we really have to be conscious that that these things are not happening without some instigation, serious instigation.
That's right.
Saying that, because all the comments, the Black people are stealing. What are they doing with this? Yeah, but white people stole whole countries. So don't tell me about a man who stole a refrigerator.
That's right. That's right.
Really. So we have to be fair in our analysis, and that's what the Black press has done.
Exactly. And we need to also connect the dots. What's happening in Haiti? What's happening in Cuba? What's happening in South Africa? What's happening in Ethiopia? What's happening all over the diaspora? What's happening in Brazil? All these things are connected. And to the extent to which people of African descent can unite and should unite and focus how we can empower one another. We're a blessed people. We're not cursed. We're a blessed people. But others will try to make us think that we don't have that blessing when we really do.
Yes. That's the benefit of our Black truth. We've crafted these two genius brothers who are not just 50, have crafted an opportunity for Black people without censorship, without some white person deciding what we can and cannot say. They've given us a platform where we can talk to each other. Over 2 billion of us. So 2 billion get on the platform. For all I care, then I'll really have a job. But I'm just saying we needed a platform where we could talk to one another without someone deciding they don't like what we've said. And that's what Michael and Eric have given us. And I'm so proud to be assisting them in getting this into the world.
Well, we appreciate you, Dr. Luck, and our Black Truth. Again, we will be following this. I want to thank Claudette Perry for putting this together, and also the great job by our news director, our producer, Norman Rich, and the entire NNPA team, who always do a good job and work so hard together to make things happen, to present information like this to the Black community. Dr. Luck.
Let me thank my director of communication, Dr. Toni Regustus, who worked with Claudette to make this happen. I don't want to leave anybody out, so thank you.
You got it. And don't forget to watch the Chavis Chronicles every weekend, and it also replays during the week. Check your local listings. It's on PBS TV and PBS World, starring Dr. Ben Chavis. You can see that it's in over 90 million households now, the Chavis Chronicles. So check it out for more Black news that you can use. And let it be known, don't forget to celebrate the small wins that you accomplished. We will see you tomorrow.